You can go second, CP.
All right. What's up? Bonafide Hustler here.
College Picker here.
Retro aficionado.
Resell Rabbit.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Green Room Hangout number 14. Today we're going to be talking about the electronics game, and I'm the Bonafide Hustler. I reside in Austin, Texas, and I flip stuff I find from eBay, Amazon. Oh, dude, I totally messed that up. I flip stuff I find from garage sales, estate sales, yard sales, flea markets, swap meets, pawn shops, and I put it on places like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, and my antique booth and consignment stores in town. That's what I do, and you can follow me on Periscope. Figure out that whole thing. I'll introduce Yang, one of the admins.
What's up, guys? This is Yang, San Jose, California. I do eBay, Craigslist, Amazon, antique booth. I pretty much do it all. Yeah, it's been a while, huh? It's been a couple of weeks since I've been on here, so yeah, I'm trying to forget what it's like to do it. Yeah. Hey.
I am CP. I reside in Starbucks. Rain, shine, sleet or snow, whatever. I like to flip stuff I find at swap meets, flea markets, antique booth, and also back on eBay. I have a YouTube channel, and you can follow me on Periscope.
I am Raiken Prophet. I live in Connecticut. Oh, wait, sorry, I lost track. Resell Rabbit here. I am in San Antonio, Texas right now. I travel all around the country, buying at thrift stores, pawn shops, flea markets, retail stores, pretty much anywhere you can think of. I sell it all via Amazon FBA while I travel around the country. I am on YouTube. You can find me at resellrabbit.com, Reddit, Facebook, and Periscope, if you can figure that out.
Cool. You're on Periscope too? Okay, so real quick, I think all four of us are on Periscope, so if you want to follow our lives individually, right? I'm at YouTube Hustler. Yang is at Yang J Chong, right?
Yep.
At Yang Jae.
If you don't know how to spell it, I'll put it here in the.
Okay. And then Rabbit is, what are you at?
Resell Rabbit.
Resell Rabbit. And then CP, you're at?
I actually don't have Periscope. I was seeing if you were paying attention.
There you go. Okay. Well, anyway, I haven't paying attention. So we have some people here in the comment feed. Let me just make sure I shout them out. Say, hey, what's up? Do the very first comment. Look at this. Good day, everyone, from Cody, who's in Australia, by the way. That's crazy. So Walter Ruth is in the house. Bonnie Otis, Emerald City Resell, Mr. Saddy123, Texas Gal Treasures, who recently crossed 2,000 subscribers. Congratulations. Derek Callahan, Les Ehart. Cool. Who else we got? Velasco89 is here. Lumpia Thief. That's a good name. I like that one. Travel with Aaron. I've never heard of him. Oh, okay, cool. That's one of our green roomers, I think. And then we have some other Bucket DeWeed, ShowMePickers.com, Mr. Shoe Guy's in the house, Stingray Tom. A lot of people I've seen in comments before. TY Hipstar. All right, so I think I've shouted everybody out. It's good to see everybody here. A lot of green roomers, that's for sure. Julie Johnson, all the way from Washington, right? Did I get that right? Washington? Was that one of our furthest travelers?
Really cool.
Huh?
Super cool. He's super cool.
Yeah. So that was our furthest traveler from in our Green Room Hangout. Drove all the way from Washington, hang out with us back in July. So that was really cool. Pittsburgh Mike Decker. All right, so shout everybody out. So it's good to see everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the electronics game. It's a very interesting kind of category, I would say. And the good thing about this show is that you have resident, I would say, pretty much, in my opinion, people that really know what they're doing. Borderline guru experts, however you want to call it. We have the college picker who does a lot of electronic sales on FBA, and we also have Mr. John Dugan, who is also known as Resell Rabbit, who sells a lot of electronics on FBA as well. So they're down there. And we have Yang, who doesn't do a lot of the used electronics, but you sell a lot of new electronics, right?
I do some used.
Yeah. Okay. So you sell some used. Okay.
Yeah.
You're like a puzzle boy more than anything. Like in the green room, it's all like books and puzzles from you and like all this crazy stuff. You do a lot of crazy stuff.
I do a lot of crazy stuff.
Oh, women's shoes. Yang is a women's shoe aficionado. What's your most recent score that I saw in the room the other day? Some Tory Burch.
Tory Burch was ballet flats. For 20, I bought him for 20. Sold it for, what was it? 136.
130 something, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, our guest in the house, by the way, if you're looking at the panel right now and you're like, wait, one of those guys does not look like an admin, it's Resell Rabbit. You're coming straight from a hotel room, right? Which town are you in now?
I am in San Antonio, Texas, about an hour and a half south of you right now.
Okay. So that's, you might be thinking that's really close to you, like Bonafide, you should hook up with him. Well, last weekend we had an epic garage sailing day filled with electronics, actually, coincidentally. So I can attest that he knows his electronics game, and he saw me in action. So, we spent 5 hours, because I got home at 1:30 that day, and we filled my SUV all the way to the top pretty much, and it was a lot of fun. And I walked away with a TV that I don't even need. So I need to sell it on Craigslist anyway. So we had everything in that spaceship. Honestly, we had bikes, we had TV, cameras, we had everything in there. So hopefully some of the things we're going to be talking about today are things that maybe you see in garage sales out there, maybe a swap meet, flea market. You're like always passing these things by, going like, what does it need to test, or where do I put that? Hopefully this show will alleviate the confusion with electronics. So before I go any further, I think it might be wise to say that a lot of this show is going to be talking about the electronics that aren't new, okay? Because if it's a new electronic, then A, you don't have to test it. B, it's pretty obvious. Scan the barcode, throw it to FBA. It's one of those things, right? But as soon as the box is opened and things have been jostled around a little bit, then you're going to have to, that's what this show is mostly about. It's about that scenario where you come across something that's loose in the wild. Maybe there's a cord with it or not a cord with it. Should you send it here versus there? Would it be safe to say that, College Picker, that this show is more about those kind of electronics, right? Not the new in-box ones, right?
Yeah, we'll be talking about some used stuff.
Okay. And Resell Rabbit, out of all the electronics that you sell, what, 20% are new? What would you say, man?
Even less. Typically, I have no new electronics unless it's the rare retail arbitrage find or the rare item that was thrifted brand new.
Okay. I got a question from Cody Orgil, and he's referring to my ride-along with you last weekend. Did I film it? He says, did you film it, Chris? We filmed it.
We both filmed it.
Can you give me I'm wondering what made this yard sailing so epic. Did you find some $200 video games like we did?
I'll tell you my best score of the day, and I even shared some of it with John Dugan. That's how I got the TV as well, because he hustled a TV. And it was a TV that I thought I wanted, right? But then upon further inspection, after he had jetted town, I realized I don't want this thing that much. The best score I think of the day actually came out of my hands, but I shared it with him. It was these rocket. Is it rocket? What is it? Rocket fish?
Rocket fish.
Yeah, these rocket fish webcams. Okay, they were new in a box. There were 9 of them in this box at this random garage sale in the same neighborhood where we had that epic video game score, by the way. So imagine rolling up to this garage sale, and you're just sifting around, and I start seeing anime. I start seeing all the signs of like closet case nerd, like electronics dude likes to tinker with things, and I'm like, ooh, this could be really good. So we all dive into all the boxes, E-Money, Resell Rabbit, and I happen to dive into a box that had 9 of these webcams. Now each, and he sold me the entire box for $30. Okay, he was at 45, and I was like, look, man, what's the best freaking awesome deal you can? He's like, $30. So rule number 1: don't ever suicide your own deal by saying a price, okay? Because if I had said 35, then he would just been like, okay, cool, I'll take 35, but he would have been taking 32. So I bought it for 30. Each one of those webcams, Resell Rabbit, each one of those webcams, what did you send them in at?
$99.99.
So 9 of them.
Okay, let me pick your brain for a second. Rocket Fish does not normally tingle with me as a high quality webcam brand. Can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah. So go ahead.
Did they make something that's so elite that I don't even know about?
This thing resembles even the Logitech that I'm speaking into right now. It had speakers on the side. It had like full-blown speakers set up. It was recording at 720p. But what I find is interesting is, some of these webcams, like some of the Logitech, like was it the C900 or the V900, whatever, is such an outdated webcam, right? And I found it new in the box like 3 separate times at Goodwills and stuff. It sells consistently on eBay for $80 every single time. And it's so outdated. I think the forward-facing camera is like less than 5 megapixels, for example, right? It's so outdated, but for some reason people want this because I think it maybe merges with a bunch of computer systems rather than it's very particular about which computer system it needs to work with. Anyway, these Rocket Fish ones are, they look super futuristic. I was like, okay, I did a blind pull on that. A blind pull in Bonafide Hustler terms means I buy the box without even checking the price of the item, right? I did a blind pull, and I was like, I know each one of these is going to go for at least $50, and that was my theory. I was like, I know this. And then right before I dropped him off, we checked them and it was $100. So anyway, enough of that story. It was an epic day. You and I had a great day too. Don't feel jealous.
Ours was very video game heavy though.
Yes, it was. And in fact, I made sure that Resell Rabbit would take a picture of the house and put it in the green room so that you noticed it.
I saw it.
Okay. So anyway, there are a lot of comments going in through here. So here we go. Walter Ruth, if I'm not mistaken, Rocketfish is a Best Buy house brand, but one of the better ones. So there you go. That's one of the things that when you deal with electronics, I mean, Resell Rabbit, are you just buying strictly brands, or you're scanning a lot of things? You're scanning a lot of, for example, here's a great example. So these small micro cassette recorder, internal SD micro recorder, okay, without the tape, right? It's just recording onto an actual medium, okay? It's real tiny. They're about this big, okay? Sony makes them. Olympus makes them. They're also known as pearl quarters. My brother found an RCA one. I mean, this is the equivalent of like Kobe, okay? And you know what Kobe is. It was still going on FBA for like $45, $50, and he popped on it for like $2 or $3. So brand matters a little bit, but I wouldn't say it matters a whole lot, especially in times where that particular item, you know that, okay, like a webcam, you know, like, okay, so you got the Rocketfish, you got the Logitech, you have this one, you have that one. You know webcams are sold, and they're very low ranked usually on FBA in general. Do you ever mess with webcams, Rabbit?
Yeah, pretty often actually. Anytime I see a new webcam, I look it up. And anytime I see one that's clearly like an HD webcam that's used, I'll look that up too.
Yeah. So webcams are kind of a surprising thing. Well, okay, let's get into the show because it's kind of important to go through this outline that I have right here. And I have to break away for a second because I have to get my power cord on this computer. So we're going to be talking about, first of all, the avenues. So let's take it on a bird's eye view. Think about the electronics, Young, that you've sold in the past. Where have they mostly gone to?
You mean as far as what platform to sell?
Yeah.
Most of them, for me, go to Amazon.
Okay. Cool.
Some will go on eBay. Some.
Let's talk to a college picker here. How about you, CP? Like, where do most of your electronics go to?
Most of it definitely on Amazon.
Okay, and then do you do much on FBA? I mean, on eBay or Craigslist?
I have done some on eBay. I have done some on Craigslist. Mostly dependent on if there is an existing listing on Amazon, or if I'd have to create it myself, or if the item's so vintage to where it has like a collector status where they want to see like in-depth condition, if it's complete, if it's in the box, things like that. So I'll put those on eBay.
Okay, cool. And then Rabbit, you're mostly FBA. You're all FBA, right?
I'm entirely FBA.
Okay. Myself, I've sold electronics on FBA, Craigslist, and eBay. When I think about Craigslist and electronics, I'm always like, okay, that's usually where the vintage amplifiers go, that or my antique booth. Talking about like Sansui, Fisher, Sherwood, all those kind of brands, the silver front-faced ones. Haven't really quite hustled a Macintosh yet. I really want to one day, but I haven't got to that status. I have hustled an old Marantz one day. So the older vintage, like he was saying, vintage, the larger the item gets, the more you got to start thinking, like, I don't know if I want to ship that thing to eBay or Amazon. And if you do ship it, you better be ready to do a lot of packing, a lot of peanuts, a lot of void filling, because you'll be so surprised what happens to electronics, the bigger ones, in the mail if you're not careful. So for all intents and purposes...
Well, I didn't mean to interrupt, Chris,
yeah.
But if you do ship it into Amazon FBA, don't use peanuts. They don't want you to use peanuts.
Okay, well, I don't use peanuts, but some people void fill with peanuts, so that's why I said it. I use a bubble, like the roll thing. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
And I use the airbag things too.
Never peanuts.
No
Okay.
peanuts.
Clarification: I don't use peanuts. Everyone, lay off the bona fide hustler with the peanuts.
You're allergic to peanuts.
I am allergic to peanuts, man. So there's no way I could have put peanuts in there. Anyway,
Exactly.
So, unless you want to see hives. So let's talk about. Okay, so we got the 3 avenues down. You can hustle. We're going to go into these 3 avenues in a bit, but you can hustle electronics on any one of those 3 avenues. But you're going to find out here when we talk about Craigslist versus eBay versus FBA, there's pros and cons to each one, obviously. Okay, so what electronics are we talking about? Mostly this show, we're going to be talking about CP, small consumer electronics, right? Things like Walkmans. When you hear small consumer electronic, CP, what do you think about?
Walkmans. recorders, anything you can fit in your pocket and carry around, anything that takes batteries, maybe takes a AC or DC adapter.
Okay. So small consumer electronics, things like that, portable things. I put video game apparatus in systems, right? Resell Rabbit. So apparatus like nunchucks, the guitars, all the things that the actual main system could be hooked up to, including the main system itself, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then when I talk about electronics, by the way, I'm not really talking about household like Keurigs or freaking blenders or juicers or anything like that. That's more like a household like
appliances.
Yeah, appliances, but it's still it's electric. Yeah. Anyway, so I want to clarify that when we're talking about this on the show, we're talking about the things that you will typically find in the electronics section of your Goodwill or electronics section of your garage sales or whatever. Okay, let's talk about avenue safety, because staying safe on the avenues is the only way you can stay selling on the avenues. So let's talk to Dugan, because I think he probably moves the most electronics out of all of us right now. I got 30% left on my battery, so I'm still good. Dugan, let's talk about FBA. Okay. FBA, is it risky?
I think it's no more risky than eBay or merchant fulfilling or any other avenue.
Okay. Now, why do you think that?
It's really the same buyers. It's the same sales channel in a way. People buying online. I think the only thing that might make it riskier is the return policy is a lot more relaxed. But I have sold, just this year, I have sold about $110,000 in merchandise. I would say about half of that was electronics in some way or another. And I've had one person scam me on one item. So I would say that's pretty good numbers there.
Now, when you got scammed out of the item, do you look back and you go, oh, I know what I messed up on my description, or I know how I messed this up, I can actually curb this around for my next listings? Did you kind of figure out what it was?
Well, here's what happened, and I actually have a write-up on my website about this. It was a Nintendo Wii, and it sold for like $180. The customer returned a broken Wii. It was a completely different one. It was broken. It was like it had wood screws holding it together instead of the standard Wii electronic screws. I contacted Amazon, and after about a week, I received a full refund on it. Amazon reimbursed me for it, so I'm not even out any money. I have a full write-up on my website that shows exactly what pictures I sent to Amazon and screenshots of the emails that I sent them.
Okay. Cool. College Picker, what's your, I know you sell electronics on FBA and everything. Ever had anything that would lead you to think, okay, FBA is not exactly the safest place, or it's kind of a scammy place for electronics?
Absolutely. Not necessarily getting scammed, but you could get yourself in some trouble if you don't follow Amazon's policies and procedures, or if you end up selling something that was counterfeit that you didn't know was counterfeit. All your Amazon inventory is going to be at their warehouse. They're going to shut your account down, put a block on it, and then you're not going to have your inventory without shipping it back to yourself, and that costs money. So there's definitely a risk involved there if you're going to be using packet peanuts instead of void filler, or packet peanuts for your void filler.
Okay. Those rules and regulations seem to be kind of a touchy subject out in YouTube land, even sometimes in the green room. So rules and regulations, because I hear one story, right? And me I think I'm coming right out of like the novice level of FBA with electronics. I think I'm in the intermediate category at this point, but I see two different sides of this story, right? So with all honesty, I sit there and I go, okay, when I see the description box of FBA, that's an opportunity for me to almost sell the item to the customer. Resell Rabbit, do you kind of look at the description box in a different way than I do, or do you kind of go, this is my chance to disclose everything possible about this item that I can, what it comes with, what it doesn't come with, in order to not get the return or not be against policy violations, for example?
I use it to kind of disclose any issues if it shows significant wear, if the controller is a third party instead of a first party, if it's, if there's something on it that's worth note, that's what I use it for. I typically don't try and sell the buyer in that. I just use it for disclosures, and most buyers don't even read it.
That's interesting. Okay, so College Picker, how do you, I've seen you in the wild in pawn shops and stuff, for example, and you pick up all kinds of stuff from the glass case, even in the clearance bin. And you're going left and right picking up these electronics, and some have cables, some don't, and I assume you get the cables off eBay after that. Some have manuals, some don't. Some have the certain apparatus that needs to go with it, some don't. Like, so explain that a little bit, how you take care of some of your listings, and how is your return rate right now? Are you in the green?
In the green, of course I'm in the green. Everyone's in the green with FBA when you get a hang of it. But yeah, you want to be completing the product as much as you can to make it a great experience for the buyer. If I was buying something for a premium price on Amazon and it didn't come with the cord, I would be absolutely furious. I would write an email to Amazon, and I didn't know that it came with the cord. I would be getting that seller freaking kicked off of eBay. I mean, kicked off of Amazon, because I would be furious. I don't know. That'd be me spending $200 on something like a Sony camera or something. As for manuals, a lot of products you actually can download and print a manual for the product and include it with it, which gives you less return rates, because if the user has an issue, it's usually user error. It's probably not something wrong with the product. If they have the manual in their hand, they can troubleshoot it and look it up. So that would mitigate a little bit of your returns. And 2, it just makes it a nice bundle if you do include a manual.
Okay. Young, when you send in used electronics, I mean, is this stuff I know you come from San Jose, and apparently, like the garage sales you go to, it's a lot of nice stuff, and it's a lot of, and I'm assuming this, but if it's nice stuff, then typically the people that have nice stuff keep the manuals, keep sometimes the box. Are you seeing that kind of stuff where you're coming from as well, or am I completely not thinking about it the right way?
No, it's just, I mean, sometimes they come with, with the original box, sometimes they don't. But, this is, when I first got into FBA, this is the way I was trained, kind of like what CP was saying. Make sure all the cords are there, right? If something, like, for instance, I don't know, like a good example, like a VCR player, right? If it's missing an RCA jack, don't be that cheap guy and not send in an RCA jack. Just go to Radio Shack, spend a couple of bucks, because the return's going to be good anyway, right? Again, and like CP said, download most PDFs, most manuals now can be downloaded off the internet. Just Google the model number. And again, this is a discussion that I've had with other members, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I would never do that." It's 50 cents or less to put out a manual. Why wouldn't you want to? You want to create like a customer service, and try and source something that comes in the original box, right? If it doesn't, as long as it's complete, that's fine. You can put it in your own box. But if it comes in the original box, is even better. But you just, it's like CP was saying, create that good customer service. Make sure it's complete. Make sure it has all the accessories. Make sure it works. Make sure it comes with a manual. Because, I mean, come on. I mean, put yourself in the customer's shoes. If you get something and something's missing, I'm sending it back.
Not all products have manuals, but a lot of them do, and some you might need a manual for, some you might not. Like a Sony CD player, a lot of people that are buying it already know how to use it. So if there's no manual existing for that, I think that would be perfectly fine. I've even contacted some customer service representatives or seller people on Amazon, asking them, "Hey, so if I'm selling this, it doesn't come with a manual. Is it still, and it still functions perfectly fine? Is that okay?" They're like, "Yeah, if the manual doesn't inhibit the customer's ability for the product." So they said, if it's like a chair that's disassembled that needs an instruction manual to put together, that you need a manual, because how are you going to put a bunch of chair parts together? But a Sony Walkman, most people would know how to use without a manual.
Okay. How many chairs are you sending into FBA lately, CP?
No chairs. But in that case, that would be a product where it needs to have an instruction manual.
Okay. Young, I need an official chair report from you. How many chairs have you sent into FBA?
None.
Okay. Looks like CP's example is getting super far-fetched at this point. Hey, Resell Rabbit, how many chairs have you sent in 2015?
I haven't sent any chairs in, but I did send in 2 mattresses for a bed and a toilet tank. That's kind of close.
Wow, that's, geez. That's pretty big, man. I would hate to find a box for that, man.
You know what I mean, like furniture stuff, or like doll houses, something where you're gonna need The
Oh,
manual.
now you're going smaller now. See, we were thinking a big chair. Now you're going small, like to a small chair. That's actually easily shippable. I get it now.
You thought it was a big like lazy boy?
No, I thought it was like a chair, like
Like
yeah,
a
like a human being.
No,
would
like a IKEA chair. Like it comes in a box.
Hmm.
Like a crappy Home Essentials one from Target or something.
That doesn't belong on FBA.
They're there.
Anyway, okay.
You could get furniture.
And last I checked, a chair is not electronic. Okay, so let's talk about more electronic stuff rather than chair stuff. I'm just busting his balls. Okay, so we've kind of here's what I kind of wrote on my sheet here. I think FBA, as of all, opposed to all the avenues. Okay, so let's take eBay, FBA, and Craigslist. I think we kind of covered it, right? Because under here on my notes I put very particular kind of customers. Do you have particular kind of customers in FBA? They want, maybe they read the description, maybe they don't, but they're kind of particular types of customers. Now, here's another thing that I put on here, and we kind of touched on this. It's pretty friendly to scamming. Right now, it's like a scammer's paradise, I think, in FBA. Quite honestly, I really do think so. Let's elaborate a little bit on that. College Picker, what do you think? I mean, do you think it's if you're a scammer, I mean, you got FBA, you got eBay. What's the advantage to going towards FBA versus eBay?
Scam-wise?
Yeah, scam-wise.
Usually on eBay, you have pictures of like every inch of the item, so you probably have a serial number, and they know you have the serial number, so they're gonna be less likely to try to even pull something in the first place.
Yeah, on FBA, most people would just go, okay, the best part about FBA is I just barcode scan the thing, or I type the model number in, and then I put it to used, and it's good condition, and I put the description thing, and then I do, either match lowest price, or I figure out whatever price I want to put it, and then it says, like, add to my queue. So a lot of people don't realize that there's a picture window there that you can put pictures on. Now, honestly, when I go sifting through Amazon listings, for example, things for fourth quarter that I'm just trying to research, I'm not seeing like hardly any pictures of any items, just at all, whether new or used. I mean, I don't think pictures are a very embraced thing on Amazon whatsoever. I mean, what do you think?
A lot of the third-party inventory management softwares aren't integrated for photos. Like Inventory Lab, for example, you can't upload photos. You would have to do it direct through Amazon, which is a lot more time-consuming. A lot more sellers, I think, are more about efficiency rather than quality as far as the look of the listing.
Okay.
Especially considering when you have the buy box, your pictures, your condition note, none of that shows up.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. And then I also put on FBA, people are kind of picky, but I guess that could swing both ways with eBay. Let's go into eBay real quick. eBay I like because I think it's a great place for electronics too, but they're more like the electronics, they're the incomplete kind. So allow me to demonstrate one little thing that I found the other day. So like this was something I found last week. It was $20 at a Goodwill. It's on eBay right now for like $209 with some sale going on around $190 or so. It's an Apple iPod dock made by Apple, so this isn't some BS like iHome junk. This is real deal Apple thing of
Not a rocket fish speaker.
Yeah, Apple aficionados are totally going to want that thing. So, and I've been getting offers for it. Now, I don't want to budge off of it because A, it sounds really good, and B, I want to get the top price, but it didn't come with a remote. So I found it at Goodwill. It's in great condition. Doesn't have the remote. So I automatically think, and I'm going through the Amazon listings, and yes, I could probably make a solid $50 more on Amazon on this product, but I'm also taking a huge chance that maybe what like Resell Rabbit said, they don't see the description, and they're assuming that this thing is coming with the remote, which coincidentally uses the same remote as an Apple iTV. Did you know that?
The first gen? The white remote with the IR?
No, it's this really skinny-looking thing.
Is it the silver one, or is it the
Yeah,
white
it's a silver one. It's working with my Apple TV right now. I'm like, that's crazy how that works with it. But anyway.
You can buy the remotes for fairly cheap. I would just get the remote and bundle it. That's what I would do. But
I think the police are busting chair people in your town.
I even see the lights in it.
That's awesome.
Lights.
So yeah, I'm like looking. This is one of those cases where I'm going to forego the $50. Okay, I'm going to be like, all right, I'm not going to make the $50 on FBA extra. Although the shipping of this kind of big thing is going to be subsidized heavily through FBA, I'm still like, you know what? I mean, I'll pack it up really good and I'll get the top price for this thing and I'll listen to some great music in the long run. But this is more of an eBay type of electronic. So it's incomplete. It is tested, right? It's missing a part, which is the remote. And I made sure to disclose it on my eBay listing all the way through, and I'm getting this is how you know you're dealing with an Apple person, right? I've been getting like, would you take this? I really want it. Like, are you open to an offer? I don't respond to that. Some other guy the other day was like, okay, how does it sound? Does it sound tingy? Does it hiss? Does it have the right kind of bass coming out of it when you play a song? What kind of music have you been predominantly playing in this thing? And what setting was your volume at usually when in your time owning this product? How long have you had the product? And I'm like, holy crap! Like, maybe this is the Apple like fan. They call
Holy
them
Grail.
You know,
The
no,
Holy
maybe,
Grail.
well, it's definitely a holy grail of like a speaker, right? But like maybe this is the typical Apple fanboy I've been hearing about, right, from around the corner. Like, just want everything to be perfect, I guess.
Maybe
Resell
he
Rabbit,
wants to know how old your brother is.
what'd you say?
Maybe he wants to know how old your brother is.
Oh gosh, I have a really funny story about that. So Resell Rabbit and I shared some tacos and we talked about something really funny. I'll fill you guys in on the motorcycle helmet Craigslist story one other day. It's really funny though. So I'm going to put that to eBay. eBay is a great place for incomplete, untested as well. Untested is a category. I don't even know if it's not a category. Okay, you can't pick untested. You can put 4 parts or not working, used or new. New other and then new, right? So new other, used, and then 4 parts or not working. So untested, when I put untested, I'm putting it in the used category because I don't know if it's for parts yet, and I also don't know if it truly works all the way. Like, so I'll do untested on certain electronics. Remote controls, things like that, things that I don't have the, like if I hustle a Pioneer like super awesome remote control thing, I don't have a Pioneer thing to like control other things with, so I can't test it, right?
You know how to test remotes, though, right?
Oh yeah, I know how to do it. You can do the camera on your phone and yeah, flip it, yes. So that's eBay. What do you guys think about eBay? Let's talk about College Picker real quick. eBay, when eBay electronics come together, CP, what's going on through your head?
I'm usually going to be using something that didn't work or didn't work completely or, like you said, completely untested. Or if there's no Amazon listing at all, vintage items, for instance.
Okay, cool. Texas Got Treasures in the chat said Amazon basically has street cred right now, so that's like the big thing with Amazon.
For suing people?
Huh?
They got huge street cred for suing people. They're suing like a bunch of people.
They're suing a bunch of people off Fiverr that were doing fake reviews for $5 or something like that.
Yeah, they're getting all the street cred from that.
Yeah, that's hey man, to each their own. I mean, honestly, I don't think those people really belong in there. I think honest reviews, yes, but the people that you pay, that's not right. So, Avenue Safety, Craigslist. So Dugan, you bought a TV here in Austin, Texas, when we were riding along. Coincidentally, I picked it up off of you, but I don't even want it. You were gonna put that on Craigslist, right? Even you, a traveling picker, hustles a $75 LCD 42-inch TV, right? Working.
Yes.
And
I threw it up on Craigslist and on OfferUp. I priced it cheap at like $150 or $200, and I would have taken $150 if someone offered it, just to get rid of it because I knew I was only going to be in Austin for a weekend. If I was in one spot, I probably would have priced it around $300, but that was when I thought it was a 48-inch TV.
Who makes it?
Sharp. It actually has good reviews on Amazon. It's a 2011 model LCD. I mean, it's a nice TV. I already have a 42-inch. I thought it was a 48, and so I was like, I'll trade you. I mean, I'll give you some of my webcams for that TV because I actually wanted a bigger TV in my living room, a tiny bit bigger, not very much. But anyway, so that kind of failed. So I'll put it on Craigslist. Not a big deal. But that's his whole thing. Like Craigslist is more like a final thing. You can get rid of busted, messed up, needs work. One amplifier not working on the receiver. You know, you can sell all those kind of things on Craigslist. And Craigslist is one of those places where you'll get less money, but you don't have to incur shipping or fees. And typically the sale is final, so you're not gonna really get the person coming back to your doorstep or anything. So, problem with Craigslist is if you're dealing with something large. For me, I meet the people around town. I don't bring them to my house because usually if you bring them to their house, they're gonna be like, "Well, can I freaking plug it in? Can I go inside?" Absolutely not. That's not a good thing. You don't need any strangers coming to your house. I have a plug outside. Sometimes I'll run my cord all the way to my garage. I'll leave it there in my driveway, and then I'll bring the apparatus out there to plug up so he knows that it turns on and stuff. But
get a power inverter for your car, man.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say that.
Some of these so some of the older amps and older like silver-fronted receivers, for example, the plug is different. It needs a ground as well. So
Yeah,
a lot of these
probably going to draw so much power that.
And I don't want to destroy my car.
Yeah, I don't think an inverter would be able to draw that much power.
Yeah, trust me.
Maybe just to turn it on, but not, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not going to take a chance.
I like to test video game systems with that. I've got a little portable TV and a power inverter, so I can literally play a video game system in the car.
Yeah, they don't draw as much as a amp, but yeah.
I'm talking about pretty big electronics. So and by the way, when things like amps or receivers, blenders, like some of those things, Vitamixes, those things will draw a crap load. You gotta be careful. So anyway. FBI Life says, "What's up, Resell Rabbit?" By the way, okay, so let's take a break real quick. I have 15% battery on this computer, and I need to go get my.
And you got no webcam going.
Huh?
We got a nice black screen.
Do I really? No, I don't.
Yeah, you had no webcam for like the last 15 minutes.
Shut up. Okay. Hold on.
You're just a black screen talking.
All right, so I need you to. I want Resell Rabbit and CP to discuss this next thing. And in the time that they discuss this next thing, I'll go get my cord and I'll get in and out of this actual broadcast. I'll come back in. But the next part is preventing scams from even occurring. How can you be proactive? And what has worked for you? So how can you be proactive? And then do you feel as if your way is working, and why do you think it's working? So toss it all the way around, all three of you guys. I'm just going to go exit for 1 second and get this thing remedied real quick, okay?
All right, see you in a bit.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Well, with scams, to prevent those, what I like to do is when I first started out, I was putting the serial number in the listing.
Mm-hmm.
That way, the buyer has it right there. They know they can't scam. But when you get to be more efficient with it and you're sending in 20 or 30 Wii's per month, it can be complicated to have a separate listing for each one for the serial number. So what I do is I put a mark on it with a pen that you can only see with the black light. I also put like a warranty seal over it so you can't open it up and take parts out. And I mention that on the condition note, and when someone sees that, they're less likely to even try to come after you. What about you, Eric? What do you try?
You just absolutely hit the nail on the coffin. That's one of the best things you can do is use a UV pen and the little holographic warranty stickers that people see and get scared of when they see it. And then if you track if you have some sort of Excel spreadsheet with serial numbers or photos of them, but like you said, if you're doing so much volume, your amount that you're selling is taken care of if any scams were to occur. Then if you were to waste the time trying to prevent the scams, you would have been making more money anyways. So.
Exactly. And just mentioning it, even if you don't want to go out and buy the pen or the stickers, just simply mentioning it on the listing is really going to deter a lot of scam artists. They're looking for the people who might be new, might be inexperienced, and those are going to be the prime targets for a scam artist. John, what about you?
I think I'm back. Am I moving around, or am I stationary bona fide hustler right here?
Yeah, we
can see you.
You weren't stationary. You were like black screen ninja.
Well, I kind of like that actually.
Going back to what you were saying, John. I mean, that's pretty much the only way you can really do it efficiently, but it's not foolproof. I mean, if someone really wants to get their money back, they will get their money back. But it really does discourage most people. But the way I look at it, though, is, I mean, my return rate, percent rate is like less than 1%, right? And it's one of those things. The way I look at it is, if I bought like the VCR, right? Let's say I bought it for $10, and I sold it for $100. Technically, I'm only out $10. I'm not gonna cry about it. Yeah, I lost the sale, but it's not a big deal for me. Whatever. Life goes on.
Okay. So now that I'm back, we heard what Young said. Yeah, you're right. You're only out that, but theoretically, if it could have sold for $90 or $100, you're out $90 or $100. But anyway, let's talk about something real quick. Piggy Pants says, and this is for Resell Rabbit or maybe CP. I'm curious to where you are ordering your warranty stickers from.
I just pick them up on eBay.
Okay. These are the you said are holographic ones, or what kind are they?
They're not holographic, but they're made. You know when you buy something at Goodwill and you peel the sticker off and it's got those perforations? They're like that, but they have so many perforations. They are such a pain to take off. And it says warranty void if removed. That way, you know, people aren't going to try and mess around. And if it is removed, then you're kind of in the clear. You don't need a refund.
College Picker, what about you?
I don't have any actually right now. But I'm sure you can get them off of Amazon or off of eBay. You just type in warranty sticker or tamper-proof seal, warranty seal, something like that.
Okay, so we heard you on that one. We got some questions rolling in. Okay, so it's 8:43. Let's do 10 minutes of questions straight from the feed, okay? So if you guys have any questions for any one of us, okay, it can be, you know, certain outlook on whatever item, or, you know, what about this, guys? What about this item? So Derek Callahan has the first good one here. It says, if you guys have the time, would you be very helpful? It would be very helpful to hear what you look for in PC keyboards. Some seem to sell very well, and some are complete garbage. So let's kind of remedy this question. This is like rapid-fire question time. College Picker, what should this person look for in PC keyboards?
Wow. I don't really feel comfortable divulging all this information.
Okay, let's give him some top end brands. Like at least this will start you.
I'll just say like a lot of discontinued ones. People, when they like their keyboard, they like their keyboard, and they will. I sold a keyboard for $100 the other day, and it's a discontinued keyboard that I picked up maybe for like $3. So. Okay,
what was it? Like old school keyboard end, or was it a USB, or was it even like?
It was PS2. It was a PS2 end.
Okay. Dugan, Resell Rabbit. You want to answer that one a little bit?
Kensington is a great brand. They make a lot of ergonomic keyboards. I've sold those like old school ones for $200-300. Anything Apple is worth looking up. Even the old Apple keyboards. And then, of course, you've got mechanical keyboards, you know, the ones that make the loud clicking noise when you type. Those can go for decent money, too.
Okay. Jimmy Mann has a question right here. I'm going to answer it really quickly. How to ship large vintage electronics? A, get a super box that doesn't have a crush factor that's like, I don't know, past 30 or 45 pounds. You got to be careful. The crush factor of the boxes is very important. That means basically when other boxes are around it, it won't start crushing upon itself within a certain load limit or something. Anyway, so you want to get the right kind of box. Even if you have to cut it down, that's okay. But sometimes when you cut it down, the crush factor is completely shot at that point. But it can still work. You also want to be using a whole bunch of bubble wrap, and for void filling, I put other pieces of cardboard boxes around it and stuff. But that's like totally last resort. If Craigslist doesn't work for me, then I will be putting it on eBay. On my last video that I put on my Bonafide Hustler channel 2 days ago, there was a Wow. God. All right, mute that one. Mute up, CPU, just for a second.
Your camera's broken again.
No, you're muting. Okay, there you go. Okay, so...
no, your lights are off again.
What'd you say?
Your lights are off again. It's dark.
Oh, I don't know what is going on with this thing.
Get one of those rocket fish cameras.
Shut up. Okay. All right, hold on. I'm just going to unplug this camera altogether. Maybe this will work. This will go to crappy camera here in a second. Let me do some settings. No, so on my last video, I hustled an amplifier that this estate sale was like, look, I think the power supply is shot. I bring it home, I plug it all up, I jingle it around a little bit, I hook up 2 speakers to it, it works perfectly fine. That one weighed a ton, though, so in shipping it was like $27 to ship it out, but I made sure to keep the box, I think there was a solid 2 or 3 inches of space around the entire object, around the box, which I put void filler in there, and then I made sure on the top and the bottom also to put that, 1 to 2 inches of actual cushioning, so that way when I got to the person, I got great feedback like almost immediately. So that was great. Let me get my camera set back up here. Sorry, all kinds of technical difficulties in this show, man. Turn camera off. Let me. Sorry, guys. Let me just knock this out. I'm gonna go to the one on my actual computer. Man. Okay, so I should be on my... I don't know what's going on. Okay, so can you see me now?
No.
Sure. Take a look.
Oh, you're back.
Okay, I can see myself. This is the one from the MacBook Pro. It's pretty terrible, actually.
Yeah, you look like you're from the original Nintendo.
I look like this is being filmed with a potato. Okay, so let's talk about now another question. Let's get to so many people here that are asking questions. So I'm gonna try to go to the top. Hold on real quick, guys. Okay, so Clicky Keyboards. I mean, Clicky Keyboards. Do they belong on Amazon or do they belong on eBay? I say eBay, but what do you guys think?
There's so many different brands of Clicky Keyboards. The IBM classic one, I think they do have a listing on Amazon.
Is there finally a listing for it now?
I haven't sold one on Amazon. I can't tell you 100%, but I would say that keyboard's so popular that somebody should have, if they haven't already, made a listing of that. And but there is a lot of other brands, off-brands of Clicky Keyboards that actually, I've found a couple that aren't worth more than like 20 or 30 or 40 bucks, and I passed on them. But the IBM one is definitely a winner.
Okay. Cody Orgil says, I just shipped out a Wii console bundle, wrapping it in bulk bubble wrap with no box. Was this a good idea? LOL. CP.
I answered him in the comments already. I said probably not a good idea, but
you've done it before.
I've never done it. I took a picture of somebody else that did it. Somebody sent me a picture and was like, "Yo, my friend just like wraps the Guitar Heroes in bubble wraps." And I thought it was so funny. I posted it on my Facebook page. But he says he's gotten it to the customer many, many times. The only thing is that they'd be like, "What the heck? This thing's not in a box," and give him bad feedback.
Yeah. But when we did that big video game hustle, I mean, we didn't box up many things. There were systems, there was apparatus, controllers. I mean, we bubble wrapped just about everything correctly, but we never put anything in any of the boxes. And we stickered them up.
He's talking about eBay going to the consumer and bubble wrap with a stamp on it.
Oh shoot! Are you serious?
Yeah, because Cody's in Australia.
Yeah, he doesn't do FBA.
Oh no!
He's talking about wrapping it in bubble wrap, putting the postage on.
I get it.
Yeah, now you got it.
I get it now. I get it. Okay. Hey, that's funny. All right. Some good laughs coming from the Australia direction. Sweet. Okay, so
probably don't do it again.
Here we go. I'm gonna try to catch up with these things. We got 5 more minutes of questions. Little Bulldog, how do you test your vintage speakers and stereo components so you don't blow them? Matching up amps, etc. So first of all, when I do vintage electronics, where am I here? Okay, when I do vintage electronics, it's typically receiver. Very rarely is it amplifiers. So a receiver is pretty, self-explanatory. A lot of them, even like the Sansuis, they're just powered. You just put 2 speakers to it and off you go. Some of them are preamps and stuff like that, where yes, you have to have a matching amplifier. And typically with those kind of things, I sell them on eBay as untested because I don't want to mess with finding. I don't want to detach my Marantz amp that's sitting in my garage, working perfectly fine for my gym, and hook it up to this thing just so I can make an extra whatever, and then waste an hour of my life getting it back into its position to work perfectly in the gym. I'm not about that. I'm about the quick flip when it comes to things that are incomplete and untested. I am not afraid to put incomplete, untested on eBay. I'm not. Okay, so let me think here. Question. Okay, so let's see if Yang can get this one. Yang, Resell Rabbit, and College Picker. We got 83 viewers, so first of all, if you're finding this show even remotely insightful, or you're learning some stuff and you just like seeing other people talk about electronics and stuff, hit the like button for us, please. Really awesome. That way we know that we're doing a good job. Or if you don't think we're doing a good job, just hit the dislike button. That's cool too. We just want to know, are we proceeding in the right direction with these green room hangouts? So, okay, let's get into the Velasco's question. This is going to go CP, Rabbit, and Yang. For electronics, how high of a rank do you guys stay away from? Yang.
I don't really care about the rank. What I'm more worried about is the dimensions, because I don't want to send in something that's an oversized item. But yeah, if it's just one item and it has a high rank, I'll just send it in regardless. I'll just let it sit there.
Yeah, it's all relative though, because like if you take a look at a large format printer, for example, CP, right? Inbox. You can verify that it's not even been opened and the ink is there, which is an expensive part of the freaking product in the first place. I mean, the shipping is subsidized completely, right? So you're gonna send that in immediately, right, CP?
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem sending that in.
So it's all relative. The rank is relative to the product. It's relative to what Yang says, the size of the product too. So that's important. But it's all relative.
Make sure you double box everything. Seriously.
Okay. Okay, so Picky Pants, is this film with a potato? Does that make you Mr. Potato Head? Oh, God. Okay. I'm going to pretend like I didn't read that one. Let's go to the next one. God, this feed is so weird. Like, I touched the screen for 1 second and like the feed jumps all over the place. So, Wildman, this is a remark, I think. I sell vintage CB radio equipment. You can never use too much bubble wrap. So this is kind of like Young's point. I like to make it tight and then take the hell out of the box so you will not be able to stand on it afterwards and not create damage. Jeez, that's crazy. Nick Kronk is saying split keyboards. Okay, so Resell Rabbit and College Picker, split keyboards. What do you think, yay or nay?
Depends on the brand, depends on the model. Some of them are absolutely worthless. Some of them can be worth a lot.
Okay, let's talk about let's give some people a little bit of a cheat here. So let's talk about 2 brands that split keyboards you're like, yeah, start looking at those 2 brands. What do you think?
I really don't have any specific brands. Usually I look up the bigger ones like Logitech, Microsoft. But of course, if I see like Kensington or I don't know if Apple makes one, but if I saw an Apple one, I'd look that up.
What's a split keyboard? Is this lingo I've never heard
No,
before?
you don't know what a split keyboard is? The one where like
the ergonomic
like,
one, right?
Yeah,
That's ergonomic. I've never seen the word split keyboard on any.
Yeah,
of
I've
the
never heard that either. I've never
there's
heard that.
certainly a divider in the middle, so I think that's why people call it.
That's what I'm saying. Is it's slang because it's definitely
There's
not.
a difference though. Split keyboard is the one that you're thinking of right now, where it's kind of angled upwards towards the middle. An ergonomic keyboard is actually going to have the keys curved in like that, where it's it's very different.
Okay.
I've sold ergonomic keyboards under split keyboards under ergonomic listings.
I think when people think of split keyboards, they think of ergonomic too. I think it's kind of, in a way, one and the same because it is ergonomic to an extent.
But there is a difference for typists. Maybe. I don't know. I've never heard that term, sorry.
That's what pictures are for.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. We're going to try to get 4 more questions really quickly done here. God, this feed is so long. Okay. Let me get to it. This is the part like of the broadcast that's not seamless, right? I wish I could make this all seamless and make it look like a professional show, but unfortunately, I mean, just looking at words and words, it's like, did I read that one? Did I not read that one? Okay, so Piggy Pants. What qualifies as oversized? Young, what do you think?
Oh gosh, you know what? I can't remember. But it's if you just do a Google search for like Amazon FBA oversized dimensions, you'll find it real fast.
Isn't it like a thing with like the girth and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, it's the whole measurements. Here, hold on. Let me see.
Man, that word just creeps me out. Girth. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If you just do a Google search, just do a Google search and it'll be like on the top. It's not hard to find at all.
Okay. There's so many funny comments in here.
I would like to point one thing out. If you're selling used items, just because it's smaller doesn't mean it's not oversized because they factor with all the packaging. Like Guitar Hero guitars aren't too big when you take them apart and send them in, and they're very light. But when you factor all the packaging, they're considered oversized.
Okay. Texas Gal Treasures has a comment right here. You guys are great. I'm learning. I didn't know much about pawn shops or electronics. Since the last show, looks like T and I have plans to get out there to a pawn shop because they're kind of freaked out about pawn shops, understandably. Pawn shops is like, these are 2 wonderful ladies of the internet that have channels, and to go onto a pawn shop where people are all like, super hustlers and tatted up. We had a private pawn shop show last week in the room, and at the end of the show, they were way more comfortable to go into a pawn shop. And by the way, I think it was maybe Alan Mendoza or somebody in the green room finally posted his first pawn shop haul. Did you see that? I know Young saw it, but the guy posted 4 cameras. Remember that in the green room? And he said, "This is my first pull from a pawn shop." And he showed these 4 cameras. He was all proud of it. That was pretty cool. So,
hey, I'm gonna be in Houston tomorrow. If you 2 want to go out to a pawn shop or something.
Okay, so you heard that, Alan Mendoza. I think that was Mendoza in the green room that had that actual thing. So
what's surprisingly, we have no pawn shops where I live. The only thing close to a pawn shop we have is where they buy gold and silver off of you. Other than that, we have no pawn shops whatsoever.
Go to the hood of California and you'll.
I'm telling you, there's no pawn shops.
Boatload here in Austin, man.
There's sometimes some like city legislation or county legislation that you can't put pawn shops in certain places because it.
Hey, Young. Sorry to cut you off, but I just looked it up. You got a whole bunch of them here in San Jose.
They're probably the ones that buy and sell gold.
They just throw pawn on their name to get the SEO stuff.
Yeah. No, seriously, that's what it is. I mean,
I think the answer is Young has like a StarTAC Motorola and it has no data plan, and he has no idea how to like research this crap. Huh?
The first one I pulled up here is Easy Cash, and that's a nationwide chain of pawn shops. So I know you have at least that one.
No, I can almost guarantee you that if I will bet you money that they just sold it.
Okay, so I mentioned this phone called StarTAC.
Hey, there's a picture inside. It looks like they have stuff in there. Can you see that? I see musical instruments, electronics, tools. There's stuff there going.
Okay, I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
It's on Thule Boulevard.
I was thinking of this is so off topic, but I was thinking about old cell phones, and there was that one called the Motorola StarTAC, which all the rappers were rapping about. But besides that, wasn't there one Nokia that everyone freaking had? Was it a 516? What was the one that everybody had? There was like 5 million like skins for it. Do you know what I'm talking about? The power button was in the top right corner, like a little circle.
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't know the model offhand.
It was like everybody had this, dude. Everyone was playing the Snake game on it, and it was like the very first phone where I was like, dude, I'm texting people now. Like, this is crazy. You know, I think it's a 5140.
The StarTAC is worth like $50 for collectors.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's like, I mean, after StarTAC really paved the way for like cool phones like Razr and all that stuff, but like StarTAC was like, it was in Cash Money Millionaire videos and like all this cool stuff back in the day.
I mean, here's a good bolo for you guys. The brick phones, they're good money on eBay.
Those are worth some serious money.
Yeah, they're good money.
Okay, so Franco Gutierrez and Derek Callahan says it's the Nokia 5150. Let me look at this picture real quick. Sorry, I'm gonna have. Why do I care about this? I just do. We have to answer a couple more questions from Robert Burns. Forget it. We're not even, I think that's the only one. It was 5150. Anyway, this phone was like everyone had this one phone. Anyway, let's talk about. Okay, Robert Burns had a question from straight within the green room right here. It says, "Hope you guys are going to cover flipping the current generation of consoles such as the PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U, best practices, etc." Okay, so let's talk about Wii U because I want to say Dugan just flipped a Wii U recently, right?
Yes, I threw an offer up. I got $250 for it within a couple of hours.
Okay, so what's the buy strategy on that one? Like, what'd you buy it for? What'd you buy it for? And what was the deal? Real quickly, I know what the story is, but make it quick. Yeah, I know what the story is, though.
I'll make it quick. It was in a garage sale in a box of about $1,000 worth of games and accessories. She wanted $15, but sold it to someone else. So I offered them $50 cash, bought it, and made a lot of money.
$1,000 worth of accessories.
Mm-hmm. But he said there was a working Wii U in there, dude.
Yeah.
Jeez. And they thought it was an old tablet, right?
Yep.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, so that one went to OfferUp. I assume you boxed it up then, right? Or what did you? No. That was OfferUp.
Right? Yeah, OfferUp is local, like Craigslist. That was when I was living in Nashville, so I just put it up and it sold in a couple hours.
Okay. Let's talk about retail arbitrage or just picking up a PS4 or an Xbox One or just a general console from a pawn shop or a garage sale and flipping it on FBA or eBay. To help Robert Burns out here, what when you're messing with a PS4 and Xbox One, like what's the assuming it works, right? You gotta test it all out and everything, and you probably want to include one controller at the very least, maybe a game. But like, where would you put that? Would you put that on FBA or would you go straight for eBay for a quick kill?
I'd probably go Craigslist because PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U will sell hours after you list them if you're at the market price. If you just absolutely did not want to sell locally, I'd go FBA.
Okay. College picker.
I would do local. Yeah, it's the same thing, locally or FBA. Probably FBA, because right here I have had no luck on Craigslist.
Okay, so it depends on your location. Derek Callahan's question about the keyboards, we answered that. Alan Mendoza says, I'm always on the lookout for mechanical keyboards, but I haven't had any luck. I finally found my very first one like not too long ago, so they're not. For me, they're hard to find. So I don't know about other people, but keyboards are all over the place. It's just whether you take the time to go up to them and start clicking them around, really.
Oh, there's like 95% garbage keyboards.
Yeah. I could have
if not even more, maybe 90. I would say 99% is garbage.
Okay. So there you have it. So maybe it was really lucky that I found mine the way it was. One of the keys was frozen though. Which do you use contact cleaner or no? Yes or no? Because these are almost like servos, right?
Mechanical, dude, you can pop it off and you can look at the action on it.
Okay. Okay, well, I don't want to pop it off. I'm just going to sell it as untested. Anyway. I don't want to mess with any of that stuff, dude. Dude, I remember one time with my corporate job back in the day, I had a ThinkPad, which is like this IBM computer with like the mouse in the middle.
They still make ThinkPads.
Okay, so it had this little red thing in the middle. Like the mouse was in the middle of the actual keyboard, right? It wasn't down here with the pad, right? It was in the middle of the keys.
They have a name. I can't think of it right now.
Okay,
yeah.
So I'm sitting there dicking around one night with something on my bed, and then my cat jumps up on my keyboard, and then I go like, "Get the hell out of here!" Right? And while it does that, it decides to, like haul ass off my keyboard, and in the process, it ripped like 6 keys off. So I got 5 on pretty quickly, but that last one, I swear, I sat there and I was like frantically like, "Holy crap, my job's gonna kill me!" And I was sitting there for like 2.5 hours trying to get on, never got it on.
Now you have a fear of taking keys off.
And then my friend was like, "Dude, come on, seriously?" And he pops it on in like 1 second. He's like, "You got to understand how this thing works." And I was like, "God, geez, really?" But yeah, that freaked me out. So anyway, that's the reason why the keyboards are like kind of like, I don't want to mess with them. So
if you have a traumatic event, you don't ever want to.
I know. I PTSD, man. PTSD from the keyboards blowing up in front of my face.
And that is why you don't get a cat.
Yeah, there you go.
We just
Jeremy, man, that Wii U in that situation, by the way, what did it sell for?
$250.
$250. Okay, so that sounds like a pretty good flip to me. So everyone, Derek Callahan says $5150 for that Nokia phone. Ahmed Middleton says it was $5146. I think it was a $5150 though.
I think 5150 sounds right, but the 46 was probably the same exact thing as the 5150 with a slower processor. But
one of them had rubberized keys versus the other one. One of them had black rubberized, like oval-looking keys. It was more high-tech, and I had that one, but everyone had this 5150 one. Anyway,
it's the 46. Nothing came up on 51, but the 46 came up.
No, it's not that one, dude. It's the other one with the power buttons on the top right.
Integrated antenna. It doesn't have an antenna sticking out.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna be okay, so we gotta zoom through this one.
We gotta close, man. I gotta get to Target, to Best Buy, and to Walmart to do some green room arbitrage.
Okay, man. I know what you're looking for. Too. I know exactly what you're looking for.
You know exactly.
By the way, if you guys want to join the green room, we don't ever do 5146. It's not a 5146. It's a 51. It's got to be the 5150. I know it is.
There are no 5150s on eBay.
Wow, there's an opportunity then. Go to your flea markets and pick up every 5150 you can get and put it on eBay.
If it exists.
If it does exist, bro, I'm telling you. Okay, so I wanted to go over 2 more things. We're going to have to rapid fire blast through this. So, what are the typical items that you need to test electronics with? So, if you have I have an electronics box down here to the corner, and in that box there are 2 things in this room. One thing's over here, right? All my batteries are in this direction right here on the floor, in this like neatly organized thing, and then I have other blank media and certain kind of things in here on this side, and in my drawers over here to test electronics. So, let's talk about items needed to test. I'm going to talk about 2 things, and then Young's going to do 2, Rabbit's going to do 2, and then College Nicker's going to do 2. So listen carefully, okay? Don't say, "Oh yeah, I second what Bonafide said," because you're not thinking. So my first one is like you're going to need batteries, flat ones, AA, AAA, DC, and then camera batteries such as the CR123s. Maybe even keep a couple of the extra batteries that you find within camcorders. Like if you find a camcorder with 3 batteries. Don't sell it with 3 batteries. Keep like 1 or 2 of them, right? For the next camcorder that you come around that is incomplete. Same thing with cables and all that kind of stuff. I was reselling. I was hustling with Resell Rabbit, and he picks up some random cable at this garage sale. He's like, "I know exactly what this goes to. This goes to this router. It's so cheap." He's like, "I'm going to need it down the road, so here it is." Incredible. So, and it's funny because he knew exactly what router it went to and everything. So. Batteries is my first one. Most of them I don't. And then blank media, such as microcassettes, reel cassettes, mini discs, DATs, maybe even a laser disc if you want to mess around with that. But you want to
vinyls.
You want to have some blank media and some real medias, like actual DVDs with pictures. You know what I'm saying, with like actual movies on it and stuff, so you can test these things out. That's my 2 things. College Picker, your 2 things.
I would say get a micro electronic screwdriver set, they're just called electronic screwdriver set. It's like a little micro Phillips and a micro flathead, and a voltmeter. I'm going to go with the voltmeter.
Okay, voltmeter, cool. So you're going to try to test continuity and all that kind of stuff, right?
The only way to test a power supply without the actual item is with a voltmeter. So things like that, you test for continuity on certain things. there's actually a way to test a Rock Band and a Guitar Hero drum pedal with a voltmeter, which I filmed a video for the green room that I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never got around to my saying. If you want to join the green room, the link is always down below on my videos on my channel. So check that out if you're interested. $100 a year, best money you'll ever spend. Okay. So you said those two things. That's pretty incredible. Rate of failure on a voltmeter. Can you fry yourself and kill yourself?
Can you kill yourself on a voltmeter? Not with little electronics.
Okay.
If you're like testing your dryer plug.
Okay. All right, we gotta cover all the bases, man. We don't want people following our direction and then like blowing up.
Don't test your dryer socket or your dishwasher socket or your oven socket with your voltmeter.
Okay.
Well, actually, even the 110, 120 volts would probably hurt if you didn't have it on the right setting. So yeah, just to keep it to the electronics and continuity.
Okay. So you said your two things, Young. Your two things.
My two things is two items that I mentioned earlier. Power inverter for the car. They're cheap. You can find them on Amazon for like $20-30. And download the manuals. In fact, here's a good resource. Go to retrivo.com. R-E-T-R. Oh gosh, how do you spell that? RETREVO.com, and you can find over 500,000 manuals for electronics.
Okay. Retrieval.com?
R-E...
I'm like...
R-E-T-R-E-V-O.
Retrievo. Oh, I didn't even know. I thought you were saying retrieval.
Oh, no.
Retrievo. Okay. Wow. Put that in the green room, by the way, please. I want to know about that.
I've done that in the past.
Well, put it again. Feed goes pretty fast, bro. Okay, so Resell Rabbit, we're on your two.
I'm going to go with a copy of a game for every video game system you can think of. You got to make sure they read the games. And an empty Polaroid film cartridge.
For the battery, right?
You use the battery in it, and if you put a piece of cardboard in it, it will run through just like a piece of like the film, and that's how you can test it all.
And you don't find the cartridges with good batteries very often, so if you do have one, hang on to it. Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
so
one.
funny.
I do the same thing. I just didn't think of it.
I got a comment that just rolled in from Ignacio Santos. I would totally invite Bonafide Hustler to San Antonio. There's a flea market here called Mission Open Market. Been finding so many great things here. You know, the flea market I get closest to San Antonio with is called the Bussey's Flea Market, and every time I go there, I usually find bigger stuff for my antique booth there. So, but I have also found smaller things like remote control cars and things like that. So, things to decorate the house with too. But I like that flea market a lot too. But it's just, you know, there's so much in Austin that for me to invest an hour and a half to go to a flea market, I'm like, I better hit hard on this flea market or else it's kind of time wasted on the freeway. And you know how I-35 is. I-35 is the worst freeway on earth. Okay, so we're going to cap off this show with, and there's so many funny comments coming in here, my God, about this voltage and everything.
Yes, you can lick the voltmeter.
Oh,
it's
jeez.
so funny. Okay, so...
It reads volts, it doesn't put out volts, so yeah.
85...
Chris just froze.
I think we lost him.
Oh, gosh.
Anywho, we need to wrap this up. I need to go arbitrage some of these stores, and I'm freezing.
You know, it's nice and warm here in San Antonio.
Yeah. Anyways. All right, so let's wrap this up. Thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you learned two things, it's don't sell chairs without instructions. Don't use your voltmeter on your dryer.
If you haven't already thumbed the video up, it really helps us out, lets us know we're doing a decent job. And this will be ready to view as soon as it goes live after this broadcast.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we're still live. I guess we all got to get out. So, all right, later.
See ya.
All right, can you guys hear me? Yo, yo, yo. Check, 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 check. Can you guys hear? Let me see what's going on here. All right, can you guys hear me now? Let me make sure all kinds of crises are hap crises. I'm gonna be polite with my plurals here. Let me just make sure that everything is going right. If you guys can see me right now, comment in the feed so that way I can make sure that we're still good. And we'll cap off this show here in 1 second. I just want to make sure that I don't have any more issues with this show. So pardon all the time lost right now. Got 48 viewers still in the room. And let me go to my live streaming thing here. 1 second, guys. Okay. Lots of funny comments too. Okay. So if you guys can still hear me, yes or no? Let's make sure I see you. I'm gonna type something in real quick. Hey. Let's just make sure it's all good. It's probably just gonna be me for the last part of this show. We can see and hear you, bro. What's up? Okay. Look, so some like dire stuff. I mean, look, El Nino, right, is coming through right now. I got phones blowing up. We're supposed to be getting this El Nino crazy weather and everything is probably affecting some of the internet. I've never had a drop that hard out of this internet. So anyway, I do want to thank every single person out there that has come forward and participated in this show, in the feed, whatever it takes, you know. We'll be doing the Green Room Hangout number 15 next week, hopefully Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. If you have any questions or remarks about this show, please direct them in the Green Room, or you can comment on this video once it's on my channel. But if you have any suggestions or guests you want to see on next week's show, then go ahead and put that either in the Green Room or on my Bonafide Hustler Facebook or that. But what I was getting at before I got kicked, fair amount of viewers in the room, like 85 at the time I got kicked off. Not kicked off, my internet just dropped. So best thing you can do for us if we're doing something really good and you like what you're seeing and you're like, oh man, I really learned a lot in these hours that they put the show on, then just hit the like button. That's like the best thing you can do. It burns like, you know, 0.0026 of a calorie, plus we see it on the other side like the next day. So with that, I really think, yeah, I'm still connected. That's right. This is very weird. It is slightly improv that I'm trying to pick up here. But at the same time, I do want to thank everyone for being here. You know, technical difficulties will happen. And I'm surprised that on the last season of the Green Room Hangout, we went 55 episodes, and we had maybe 3 shows. Okay, 3 shows. So mind you, we had 54, 55 1-hour episodes, and 3 shows had super technical difficulties. 3. So I think that's pretty good. So we're in the 14th show of season 2. We got 1 technical difficulty. I'm not too worried about it, but it's good to see everybody. And if you have any questions, or I know this internet's clipping and everything. If you have any questions or anything like that, just direct them my way. You know how to find me. Thanks for checking out this broadcast. I'll see you on next Wednesday's Hangout. Okay, take it easy.